Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kieran from Red Devil Weekly, and welcome to the Manchester United versus Burnley match preview. Before we get into all our videos, I always remind you to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I also want to thank you on all the support. Really do appreciate your support in these times, so thank you very much. And as I said, hit that like button if you do enjoy this preview, subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. Heading towards 880 subscribers now, so thank you so much for all your support. Really do appreciate it. And also, if you're watching as a video, which I know some of you guys do, make sure you leave your thoughts on this game or any comments whatsoever in the comment section down below. I really do enjoy interacting with you guys in the comment section down below. So if you're watching as a video, don't be afraid to leave a comment. I'll definitely get back to you. So if you're watching as a video, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're watching live, of course, get your thoughts in the live chat. We'll be discussing loads of stuff going into tomorrow's game against Burnley. And I want you to get your voice heard, and it's your right to get your voice heard on this channel. So thank you so much for your support, and get your voice heard in the live chat. We've got Kobe in here already, and we've got Adam as well, and Dazzler. Thanks for joining, guys. I'll pop you guys up on the screen. Kobe there, Adam's joined us as well, and Dazzler, of course. Evening, how are you doing? Make sure you check out Dazzler's Football Stand as well. Brilliant stuff on his channel, so make sure you do check him out over there. Road to 900 subs, yeah, hopefully, mate, anything you guys can do to help us out with that would be brilliant. But yeah, hopefully just climbing up to that 1,000, climbing up slowly but surely. Ryan McSwiggan, how you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining, mate. Always great to have you on. Always, a pleasure to see you on these streams. He says we should whip them. I like the confidence. I like the confidence, Ryan. I like it. I've put it's a bit of a tough test because in our last 3 meetings with Burnley at Old Trafford, they've been sticky. I'm not going to lie, they've been sticky. Our last one obviously didn't go too much to plan. We lost that one 2-0. And in our last 3 trips to Old Trafford, Burnley have scored 2 goals. So I think in all 3 of those games have been 2-0 up as well. So, this is the problem with Burnley, is that they always seem to get up for the game at Old Trafford. And that's the one thing I'm worried about. And they're not a bad side away from home as well. And we'll get into those stats in just a moment. United Hub has joined us. Thanks for joining United Hub. Always good to see you on the streams as well. He says, news, McTominay left out of squad. Rumoured to be illness. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen that, but I probably should have looked at the news more closely before going live. But yeah, I mean, I tell you what, if that is a big loss for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, maybe not for the team, but for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because there's no doubt that he'd be one of the first names on his team sheet. So yeah, that is big news if that's true. Big if true, as they say. He also says Bale missed out with lack of fitness. I've seen that Ole said that Bale was self-isolating in the Ivory Coast. He's now come back to the UK and has trained with the squad. So there's a potential for him to be in that team. But I just think when Maguire and Lindelof are both fit, there's no chance that any of those are going to be dislodged from that team, especially with Solskjaer as manager. So, and actually, I'll give credit where credit's due. They've been a pretty decent defensive duo recently. They've been very good, very solid. Actually, we've kept quite a few clean sheets this season, and, Lindelof and Maguire, both of them, have actually not had 2 bad seasons. I think probably Maguire out of the 2 has been the stronger, but recently you've got to give credit where credit's due. They've been pretty decent. Matthew's joined us. Thanks for joining, Matthew. Good to see you, mate. He says, can we just beat Burnley at home for once, please? Even he's praying now. I mean, not praying, but he's begging. He's begging. We're begging for a win against Burnley. Listen, because as I said, we do struggle against Burnley, and I know realistically, our record at home and our record this season in the Premier League, looking at theirs, we're second, they're 16th, 17th. Really we should get the result. It should be a formality, but as we know, football is not played on paper, ladies and gentlemen. We know that football is not played on paper, and that's what worries me. That's what worries me. They've got a very good record there. They only need 1 win for safety, I reckon, as well, and I think that'll be in their minds. And we know what happens when we play teams that need 1 win for safety. We always know what happens in those games. We've got a few guys on as well. Box has joined us, and Owen has joined us. Thanks for joining. Box, has anyone seen Man City's squad? Yeah, I tell you what, Chelsea does a bit of a favour there, I tell you. Very, very good. Very, very good performance from them. Obviously, I'd rather they didn't win the FA Cup. I'd rather Leicester or Southampton won it. But they did us a favour. They did what they needed to do, and they got the job done. 1-0 win. And to be fair, I thought City were rubbish tonight. I really did. I thought City didn't really make too much of an effort in the first half. I think in the second half, they kind of came at Chelsea a bit more. But I mean, I was disappointed, pleasantly disappointed, but I was disappointed with City. They didn't even look that good. Dazza says we'll probably underestimate them like always. They tend to have a good game against us, sadly. Yeah, I mean, we can't underestimate them, as you always say, as you always famously say, Daz. You know, we can't underestimate teams like Burnley, and especially the way they play and the way we've conceded goals this season, crosses and set pieces. We've struggled. We've struggled massively to deal with those, and Burnley are the kings of scoring from those situations. That's what they thrive off. Now, there is a few a bit of injury news that you guys, as United fans, will probably enjoy. Obviously, we don't, want anyone to be injured, but at the same time, if it does mean a better player's not playing against you, you're obviously gonna, be happy. But there is a bit of injury news I will update you on in just a few minutes whilst we read out your comments. Keep them coming in as well. Get your voice heard on the channel. Kobe says Rashford in the squad according to Samuel Lofthurst. Hopefully he starts. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like if Rashford's not fit, if Rashford is not, ready to start. I mean, realistically, he's been starting completely injured. He hasn't even been training, apparently, when he's been starting games, in the last few... Well, ever since he got injured before the international break, he didn't join up with Gareth Southgate's squad. He hasn't been training since then, and he's still been playing week in, week out. And, I mean, fair play to him. He scored 2 goals in that time, but I'm not sure what happened there. I'm Right, well, I don't know what's going on. Right. I got to. Right. Oh, I'm raging. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm raging. Thanks to everyone who stayed with us. If you've just joined us, yeah, for about the last 15 minutes, the internet's been down. The stream's been going, thank God. But I'm raging, ladies and gentlemen. I am. I mean, our internet has not gone down for at least a week. At least a week. And as soon as I want to do this, as soon as I just want to talk some rubbish about United to you guys on the stream, it does that. And to be honest with you, to some of you who know what my internet is like some people in the chat, that won't come as a surprise. It's happened before. So yeah, I'm raging, ladies and gentlemen. But I mean, I'm happy we're back. I'm happy that we're back. I'm happy we can get on with this. And as I said, cheers to everyone who has stuck with us. Appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I may as well do the intro again, to be honest. But if you want to see what I said before, you can just go to the start of the stream. I was live for about 5 minutes probably. So I said some stuff then, I can't remember what I said. So if I go over old ground, I do apologise. But yeah, hopefully all you guys are here. But yeah, Tenzin, thanks for joining, appreciate it. Rich as well, thanks for joining. If you're still here, Rich, yeah, thanks for joining. Hopefully it's all going well. As I said, Jack, mate, I did have to time you out because you did keep putting Fs in the chat. And if you do keep doing that, because I know you're a good lad, I know you're a good lad, I know you're better than this, let's not spoil it. If you keep doing it, we will have to put you in a further timeout and potentially even worse. And I do have, a moderator in the chat, so he can decide. So I'll give him all the permission to do that if he feels that you are kind of pushing the envelope a little bit. Because I know you can have good opinions on United, mate. I know you're better than this. You're better than this, mate. So, as I said, I'll leave it up to the moderator. I did have to time you out for 300 seconds there, just as a bit of a warning. Obviously, if you keep doing it, then it doesn't seem like you care about the warning, so that's your own prerogative, but it will probably land in a potential ban. But anyway, we will continue, we'll carry on, we'll soldier on like we do here on Red Devil Weekly, and that is what we do best, going through adversity, ploughing on, and that's what we'll do. So we'll talk a bit about Burnley, and the injury news actually that I was going to talk about was that a few players that you might know from Burnley's team, Dwight McNeil, for example, Ashley Barnes, they're set to be out of the game. Now, for me, it would be a massive, massive boost if Ashley Barnes weren't playing, because he's, again, one of those guys that just has a great record against us. And Dwight McNeil is a quality player, and obviously someone that came through United's academy. And it's been doing well for Burnley, one of their best flair players. And again, he could be out with an injury. So there's a few players that Burnley are missing, and it does put the pressure on us a lot, because it means we're playing an injury-crocked Burnley team. We should get the job done on paper, but you never know. You never know. It's gonna be difficult for me. I think the way Burnley play, as we saw in the first game, it was a close game at Turf Moor this season. A deflected Pogba volley was the way we won the game, and we didn't actually create too many opportunities apart from that. But it was just that little bit of magic that won us that game. And I think it could be a similar type of result this time, where a kind of a bit of magic from either side is what wins it. I really don't think there's going to be too much in the way of difference between the two sides, especially knowing how bad we can be at Old Trafford this season. Pope as well, good shout, Rich. As I said, make sure to check out Rich Sports, brilliant stuff over there. Cheers for joining, Rich. Yeah, Pope is actually out. That's a great shout. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, Nick Pope is going to be out, so it's probably going to be Peacock Farrell, former Leeds United goalkeeper. I think Northern Ireland goalkeeper as well, so he's got a bit of international pedigree, but at the same time it is Northern Ireland we're talking about, even though I'm half Northern Irish myself. The national team isn't exactly the best at the moment, but to be fair, to make it to the national team level, he's got to be a decent or a fairly decent keeper at least. So I feel like Peacock Farrell might have a point to prove, and that's something again which we've always stumbled across at Old Trafford. A goalkeeper with a point to prove, wanting to put in the kind of Spider-Man performance at Old Trafford. And I wouldn't be surprised if Peacock Farrell gets not his debut, but one of his first and only appearances. He'll want to make a difference. So yeah, I think that's one thing which we've got to look at. But we're used to it. At the end of the day, we've got to take our chances. Right, okay. Rich, no worries. Kobe says he fears Chris Wood, believe it or not. Yeah, I mean, I know Chris Wood is the biggest, one of the biggest problems in my opinion. You know, he is someone who's scored at Old Trafford before, causes a lot of problems, and I think from crosses again, that's the main thing. You know, the set pieces. He's someone who loves getting on the end of them, and you know, he's also very good at holding up. And I think his actual finishing isn't great, but I think with his head, he can be devastating in front of goal. He kind of reminds me of Harry Kane, but just not as good. So I think, to be fair, Chris Wood is someone we've got to look out for, and he's going to be their main focal point, I think. So that's something we've got to look at. But ultimately, you know, we should get this job done. Defensively, we've been pretty strong recently. My only worry is that we haven't been tested as much from set pieces as maybe we were in the past, or you know, before the international break, I'd say. But that is one thing that I just think this season we've struggled with. Even when we've had good patches of form, we've still struggled with set pieces. So I think Burnley and Sean Dyche will know that, and they'll really try and, you know, utilise that. Matthew says Dyche said it'd be touch and go on Pope. Yeah, I mean, I think I was talking to a Burnley fan yesterday. I did his preview on his channel. So, you know, if you want to check out his channel, I think it's the Cricket NTV. I should have actually linked in the description. If you're watching, Dan, I apologise. But on the Cricket NTV, I was on his channel doing the Burnley preview, so make sure you do check it out. So, I think, in the end of the day, you know, he was saying that it was going to be an interesting game, and I think it will be a very interesting game. I think, you know, if you look at, you know, some of the injuries they've got, some of the you know, the players they still have in their team, and the players that have caused problems for us. I mean, you know, the way they play is just a bit of our kryptonite. You know, they're solid defensively, and you know, they can kind of nick a goal or two going forward. But what he did say, and obviously he's a Burnley fan who watches us week in week, or which watches them week in week out. He was saying that actually at the start of the season, yeah, they're very much the same sort of Burnley as we've seen, where they're very, you know, they're very kind of, well, defensively solid at the back, and going forward they're actually quite decent. But he did actually say in that preview that actually they've started to play a bit more expansive football, but that has left their defence a lot more exposed. Whether they're going to carry that on when they travel to Old Trafford is another matter, but apparently recently they've been playing some good football going forward, but defensively they've been in absolute shambles, and that maybe is the reason why Newcastle you know, beat them in their last game, before obviously they went on to beat West Ham, which actually wasn't a bad result for us in the end, so not bad from Newcastle. But aside from that, you know, Burnley, they seem to have been playing a bit more, you know, expansive football, but again, that does leave their defence exposed, so I'm hoping they continue that. I hope they don't go back to the same Burnley that, let's be fair, was being very successful at Old Trafford, so hopefully they don't go back to that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Daz, yeah, we're back. Cheers for everyone, as I said, who did stay with us. I know there was a few issues, obviously, with the Wi-Fi and stuff, so I do apologise for that. Nothing I can do, but yeah, cheers for everyone who did stick with us, even though, you know, we weren't live, and yeah, get your voice heard. We are back live, hopefully, for the duration of the stream, but fingers crossed, touch wood, whatever you like to say. Kobe says, as I said a few minutes ago, I have Pogba in my FPL. Really hope he scores. Hey, I'll take anyone, mate. But yeah, for you, Pogba. For you, I'm rooting for Pogba now, because, you know, what I want you to do. I mean, the thing is with Fantasy Premier League, this is the thing, is that I usually start my Fantasy Premier League and then I don't really look at it for the rest of the season, because I always just forget to change it, and then when you forget to change it one week, it just becomes, you know, so much more difficult to motivate yourself to kind of change it again. I know it sounds like, you know, first world problems and just complete laziness, and that's fair enough if you think I'm lazy, but it's just one of those things where in my mind I'm just like, I just can't be bothered to keep changing my team, but fair play if you do. So I hope Pogba scores for you, mate. Fair play to you, Adam. Fair play to you. Obviously, you know, Ramadan is going on right now, so yeah, fair play to you. Hopefully having a good one. Tenzin says, if we win all our remaining games and City draw to Villa, Brighton and Everton and lose to Chelsea, we could win the league. Don't be getting on that talk. I mean, I love the optimism, but I don't want to be drawn into that sort of thing now. I mean, I don't want to get my hopes up. I really don't. I just feel that, you know, I'm happy that City didn't or aren't going to do the treble, which once again, and probably you've heard this every single year when they haven't done it, but it shows what an achievement it was to win that treble. What an achievement it was to win those 3 competitions. I mean, even our 07-08 team, which a lot of people say is better than the treble winning side, couldn't win the treble. They faltered at the hands of Portsmouth in the quarter-final of the FA Cup. So, it takes a lot to win a treble, and I think some people forget that. So yeah, and but again, as I said, I don't really want to get my hopes up on that one until we can actually, see them in our sights. If say they do lose the next few games, then I'm happy to, kind of just get on the train with you. But right now, I'm not on that one. Rich says he agreed Burnley will need to change things a bit if they want to get higher in the league next year. Yeah, no, totally agree. I mean, they need to spend some money, I think. They don't really invest too much in their squad. And I think, if they actually invested, I think they'd do alright, because they have a pretty good record on the whole against the big teams. Yeah, they sometimes, falter against smaller teams and, lose the teams they should be beating. And they always do seem to be kind of in and around the relegation zone. But if they actually invested in the right players, they could 100%, do something. They could kind of do what Bournemouth did, or even what, a team like, West Ham have done. But in the end of the day, whether they're going to spend some money, who knows? But obviously he'll know where to spend the money. But I just think they need to spend spend some money. Kobe says, have Shaw, Bruno and Pogba in my fantasy Premier League, so hope they all do well. But want United to do well regardless. Yeah, of course, yeah. Rich says, City were poor today, good to see. Of course, Rich, of course it is. Matthew says, 21 in 21 is still on. Or still on? He puts a question mark there. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I mean, obviously, until the final whistle goes, until the the fat lady sings, or whatever's politically correct to say, it's not over. But at the same time, I do think it's over. Really, I mean, Man City are just so consistent. I don't see them dropping those points. Even though they were poor today, and maybe they'll take that into the league form, I don't think they're going to drop enough points. I really don't. I mean, they could, start just focusing on the Champions League, because I think they're in a similar position to us, where in relation to where we are in top 4, because we're 9 points clear in top 4. They're 11 points clear at the top of the league. We're both saying to ourselves we pretty much got this wrapped up. But there's always scenarios where you think, if we both capitulate, you never know where we could end up. So, we're both in that sort of situation where our season, in terms of the league, is close to being over and done and dusted. But it's not quite yet. But I think if they win their next few games, I think it's pretty well done. Oh God, United hub, mate. You never learn, mate. As I said, I know you can have some good comments. I know you can be insightful and stuff. You don't need to do all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, I understand the F in the chat if the fact we weren't live, because I know that's a bit of a meme. But at the end of the day, we're back live now. There's no need to do that. Mate. Rich says he'll more likely be an FA Cup semi-final than De Gea. Of course, yeah. Burnley goalkeeper will turn into prime De Gea tomorrow. I mean, in the end of the day, that's one thing I'm worried about, is that, because when keepers come to Old Trafford, they tend to have a decent day, especially keepers who are young and who are looking to prove a point. And Peacock finally looking to prove a point. He's been second fiddle to Pope all season. He'll want to do a job. So that's one thing I'm a little bit worried about. But, realistically, you can't just blame a goalkeeper performance on not getting a result. Usually if a goalkeeper has a good performance, it just means that partly you weren't clinical enough, and you let the goalkeeper make saves. Because if you're clinical enough, the goalkeeper won't have any chance. So in the end of the day, we've got to make sure it doesn't happen. Owen says, 10 likes, Kieran, give us a swig of Bushmills on camera. I won't be drinking on camera. I mean, I might bring out a Foster's or something like that. But listen, I'm not going to be drinking that on camera. I mean, I don't think you guys want to see that. You don't want to see that. Kobe says, is De Gea playing Europa League because... Oh, sorry. Is De Gea playing Europa... Oh, no, I said it right. Is De Gea playing Europa League because the Europa is the priority? I think right now, I'll argue the Europa League is the priority. But I think you can also make the argument that the Premier League's where your bread's buttered, and if you use that argument, then Henderson's got to be number one. He started against Spurs, which is definitely the bigger game out of the last few games we've had. And he's obviously started the last few Premier League games, and I wouldn't be surprised if he starts this one. In fact, I expect him to start this one. So, I think realistically, the Europa League is the priority, especially where we are in the league. And I don't know whether, De Gea is still number one or not. It's just so difficult to know. It's so difficult to know. But in the end of the day, I think right now, Henderson is the top dog because De Gea's been away. Obviously, he needs to get back into form. So I think Henderson right now is the form player and is the number one. But I think it's a fluid situation. I don't think it's like this guy's number one, this guy's number two. I think at the end of the season and the start of next season, there will be a more concrete scenario. But right now, it's a bit more fluid. I will let people come on. In fact, you know what? If you guys want to come on, because we did have that delay, so I'll put a link in the live chat. If you guys want to come on and have your say, you guys can have your say. So yeah, I'll put the link in the live chat. So if you guys want to get involved, please do feel free to do so. Owen says, will you do shots on Carrion win the Europa League final? We'll see. I mean, I'd be happy to. Honestly, I'd be happy to. I mean, if Ollie lifts a trophy, I'll be ecstatic, man. Honestly, I want him to lift a trophy so much. So, well, yeah, go on then. Why not? We may as well say yes. It's a bit boring if you say no, so we'll say yes. Tendon says, I win the league or the Europa. Both, mate. Both. We're still in both. Let's go for both. Fernandinho should have been sent off, said Rich. I agree. I think Fernandinho was a lucky boy tonight. I thought he should have been sent off. That challenge he did, well, the two challenges he did on Mount, he should have been sent off. No question about it. But hey, it's not the first time. It wouldn't be the first time that Man City had the rub of the green with the referees. It would not be the first time. But yeah, let's get the guys on, the usual suspects on. I'm not sure which one is Adam. I've got two Adam Talk Sports here, so I'm not sure which one's the right one. So I'll add this one in. Is that you, Adam? I've got two Adam Talk Sports here, so I'm not sure which one's the right one. Okay, I don't know, but I've definitely got Daryl here. Hold on, I'll move Adam for a second, but I've definitely got Daz here. We'll try and get Adam back in due course. But Daryl, just want to say as well, I apologise for all the stuff with the Wi-Fi and stuff, but cheers for waiting and sticking with us on the channel. But yeah. Alright, apparently that's not the right Adam. But okay, this one should be the right Adam now. Okay, so we've both got Dazza and Adam. So yeah, cheers for joining, lads. Appreciate it. So yeah, we'll come to you, Dazza, first on this one. Coming into the Burnley game, obviously you talked about how in the chat that we shouldn't underestimate Burnley under any circumstances, but you feel that we might do that. So are you a bit pessimistic going into this game? Do you think that Burnley are going to cause us problems?
Well, they always do whenever they play against us because we don't tend to turn up. Whenever they play against us, it's probably their biggest game of the season. And they always have a good record against us, especially at Old Trafford. We just don't seem to be on the races whenever we play against them, which is highly annoying. Tomorrow we're going to have to perform up to the standards. Can't play like we did in the game against Granada because that wasn't particularly brilliant, even though we probably dominated Granada from start to finish. They had a few opportunities. We let them in too many times. You're not going to get away with doing that against Burnley because Burnley can just punish you just like that. And they have a fantastic goalkeeper, Nick Pope, for me. Most underrated goalkeeper in the Premier League. I think he's better than... I'm going to put it out there. The most controversial thing I'm going to say probably. But I think he's better than Ederson and Alisson combined. So
really?
So, yeah, I think he's better than both of them. Breaking news, by the way, has just come through. Sheffield United are relegated.
Shit! I didn't know that.
Wolves, so
I know they're playing, but I didn't know if they lost, they would have gone down. But yeah, well,
no,
there you go.
We should have happened a long time ago.
Newcastle won earlier against West Ham, so that's.
Oh right, yeah. It must be one of the earliest relegations, surely.
Probably not.
No, they just got promoted today.
Well, Derby County probably, but It will probably go down as one of the earliest, but no, it's a shame. Just off the United at the minute, but Sheffield United wise, it's a shame. You know, they're a really good club with a lot of history, and you know how they played last season. They surprised everyone. They had a fantastic season, got themselves in toward the European spot. It's a shame for them because you know they're a really good team, and I think they made a big mistake getting rid of Chris Wilder. But just this season, nothing's gone right for them, has it? You know, they've only got 2 or 3 wins in total, and then they've signed Paul Heckingbottom, and you know, a lot of people will probably criticise Paul Heckingbottom for sending them down, but there's not much he can do about it.
How the hell did we lose to them?
Their team this season's just not been good. I still don't understand how we lost to them, but
Let's not talk about that.
we didn't turn up. But I suppose that's the biggest game for them this season. So they'll come back up sooner or later, but for now it's bye.
Well, yeah. I mean, they did so well last season. I mean, they did so well last season. I mean, it's kind of. I mean,
I think it's just been one of them second season syndromes.
Yeah. I think
and that's happened to Wolves this season.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, again, obviously, you know, Jimenez getting injured and stuff obviously didn't help. But I think in the end of the day, they didn't really. It's kind of sad because they did play, and they were very interesting. They're a very interesting team. They played a good brand of football, and even though they had a good record against us, it's.
I'll tell you what I think's also affected them big time is they didn't go for Dean Henderson this season, did they?
Ramsdale is so bad.
They let United keep hold of Dean Henderson. They didn't try and make it permanent. That was a big mistake because he was their best goalkeeper. The best goalkeeper they've had for a while. And he was the one who got them up there. So, it just shows that, I mean, Dean Henderson for United has also been pretty good. Doesn't concede many goals. We've had more clean sheets, I think, so far this season than I think David De Gea has, really. We have a good record of him in goal in the Prem. But at Sheffield United, he was so difficult to beat him. It was so frustrating trying to get past him. So I'm actually glad we don't have to play against him. I'm glad we've actually got him ourselves. But Nick Pope,
yeah, definitely.
But let's get back on to United. The actual United.
I am talking about United. What do you think I'm on about? Dean Henderson. He's United playing me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Good segue there.
One thing we'll have to be aware of. Nick Pope. Goodness me. Some of the performances he's put out this season. Liverpool, for example, beat them in their own backyard at Sheffield. He had a fantastic time there, denying them, and he's denied a few big teams this season. He's had decent records. Doesn't concede that many goals. If he had a better defence in front of him, then I think he'd be better. Personally, if De Gea had to leave Manchester United this season, I would probably bring him in as a replacement. Being truthfully honest.
But would he really
disagree? People will disagree, but with a better defence in front of him, he'd be unstoppable. We'd have to make 1 or 2 defensive changes, obviously, because we can't keep Lindelof and Fritsch in defence all the time. Although,
how much do you reckon he'd cost?
They haven't been as bad recently.
Oh, well,
quite a bit. Probably at least 50, 60 million. But knowing Sean Dyche, he'll probably put it up to maybe 80 or something. We'd probably get more.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, I wouldn't care what the price. As long as it's less than 80 mil, take it, because he's a fantastic goalie. He's number 1 for him now, isn't he?
That's true. Probably be number 1 for the Euros as well.
Deserves it.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But yeah, I'll come to you, Adam. In terms of the game as a whole, Obviously, Dal spoke a little bit about how sometimes we're underestimated, but teams like Burnley have got a good record against us. Do you think that they're going to cause us problems, and if so, how do you reckon they're going to cause us problems in the main?
Well, Nick Pope's probably, if he is a good goalkeeper and he does not only like to turn up against the big team, but I feel like he will turn up because every keeper turns up against United. Let's be real now. If I'm going to be honest,
he'll turn up and be a prime Dean Henderson, won't he? He'll be prime Dean Henderson.
I feel like
it'll be the Sheffield United Dean Henderson again.
I feel like if I had to choose one player that, attack-wise, I'm scared of, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily scared of him. Famous last words. But it would probably have to be Dwight McNeil, because I feel like he's the only one for Burnley that can sort of create chances for them. But in terms of maybe Chris Wood, but I don't know how good he's been this season. But it would probably have to be them three. Yeah, I don't underestimate any teams anymore because I never know what United are going to do.
Yeah, I mean, especially at Old Trafford. Old Trafford.
I think Henderson's going to be the starter in the Premier League now. I don't think that De Gea's, it could be De Gea's being rested because all he wants to focus on the Europa League. But I just find that a bit.
It's the only thing we can focus on the minute.
Yeah, true. But then my lineup, I have Henderson in goal, Wan-Bissaka right back, the two idiots in centre defence, Charlotte left back,
Quinton Flop,
and I have the Brazilian Jemba and in midfield. Right now it's looking like Scotland. I'm hoping maybe I'd say Fred Pogba double pivot because if it looks like McTominay.
Jemba.
Yeah, Eric Jemba, what a player. Apparently, no, actually, I learnt this from the Burnley fan I was talking to yesterday, Dan from Cricketfield and TV. Make sure to check out the preview on his channel. He actually, I didn't know this, but apparently Eric Jemba played for both us and Burnley, so he's actually quite a topical player, mate. You've struck gold there. He's played for both United and Burnley, so it's perfect player to mention.
Yeah, but I think it's probably going to be a Pogba and Fred double pivot. Bruno's obviously going to start. I mean, I would be very shocked if Bruno doesn't start. And I was kind of hoping that Rashford would get a rest, but I just don't think that Ollie's going to give Rashford that much of a rest. I feel like he's only rested in one game and he's going to come back into the side. Greenwood and Cavani, that's what my lineup is.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, to be fair, especially with the injury to Martial, I mean, that's the front three that we've usually been going with, especially in the league. Yeah, go on, Daz.
Yeah. For once, Adam's actually awake, because whenever he's on Rich's strings, he falls asleep.
To be fair, we're not winning. It's only 10:15. To be fair, so it's not too late, especially on a weekend. But I mean, hey, I don't judge if you go to bed early. I don't judge you.
Yeah, but Rich goes live at 10:15 and he falls asleep.
Oh god! But yeah, I mean, if you want to see more of that, check out Rich Sports. There you go. I'll give you the cheeky plug there. I'll read a few of the comments here. There's been a bit of a ding dong battle about some of the players in the team. Owen says, season's done if the McTominay news is true. Don't worry about winning any trophies this season. We've got no chance without McTominay. It's obviously the news that McTominay is out potentially with an illness. And then, Tenzin is saying that, that he makes us worse. So a bit of disagreement about McTominay. A bit of disagreement.
I think you've probably heard that we all know what's happened with the Pogba interview, yesterday, where he was saying,
yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, it looks like Mourinho's responded, saying he couldn't care less what Pogba says. And I don't
Well,
think.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
I think he does care what Pogba said. I think Mourinho's lying there.
Oh, no doubt about it, mate. No doubt about it. I mean, in the end of the day, Mourinho's the kind of guy who every single little comment
Mourinho's
that's
the
made
type-
towards him, he keeps it in his head. He just keeps it in his head, and he waits for his revenge. Trust me, he will keep that comment in his
He
head.
is the type of person, when his son says that he's a rubbish dad, he keeps that in his mind and uses it
Yeah.
against him.
Exactly. He's that kind of guy, man. He's that kind of
Yeah, I
guy.
feel like we should win tomorrow, but knowing Man United, you never know. But I think it should be a win tomorrow. If I'm going to be honest, I'd like to see Tonzetti start. I actually want to see Tonzetti
We always
start.
make it difficult. Problem.
Yeah, I'd like to see Tonzetti start this
That's
game.
not going to happen. I don't think that.
Yes, I know it's
The
not
only
going to
reason he
happen.
started in the Europa League because Maguire was in. Yeah, the only reason Maguire didn't start.
I know it's not going to happen, Daz.
6-9 United win.
Oh my god. No, but I want to see Tonzetti start. I just feel like,
I
you
think
know.
regard. Yeah. But it won't. No.
Yeah, I'd rather have. I'd rather have.
What was I going to say? Of course.
Go on, Adam.
I'd rather have Tonzetti play than Lindelof play.
Right.
I know Lindelof hasn't been that bad, but I just feel like I've said it before. Them two are too similar to be playing together, so I feel like you're not gonna play it by because I feel like you gotta give him time to recover from COVID. So I feel like you should give Axel the start. I know he isn't, but I would personally give Axel the chance. Because with Axel, I know people are saying he's, terrible and that he shouldn't play for United. But what it is, I think Ollie sort of put Tonzetti in rush moments. Like against Everton, he's put him on to try and protect the lead, and yeah, I just don't feel like Ollie's putting him in the great situation. So I feel like he was good with Granada. I know it's Granada, but I felt like he was good.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. I totally agree. With your idea about how he has been thrown under the bus a little bit to Nzabi in games. I mean, the idea that we should have brought to Nzabi on, when there's about a minute left of added time, we brought him on. He has no, concept of the pace of the game. He makes that foul. Yeah, obviously it's a mistake, but he got thrown under the bus a little bit there. But I actually think when he started, he's been very, very good. So that's one thing which has impressed me is when he started, he has been very, very good.
Would you be surprised to see a rotated team tomorrow?
I would be surprised, and the reason why is because I think Solskjaer still thinks we need to wrap up our position in the league. I don't think even though I think he still thinks Europa League's the priority right now, I think he still wants us to, ensure our league position. So I think he's still going to worry about that. So I think we're going to play a strong lineup.
If I had to choose, one player he might rotate, he might want to keep Shaw fit for the Europa League and might play Telles. That's just that could be a shout, but it's
no, because no, he won't do that because
I'm not saying he will go
in the Europa League. He'll, to be honest with you, it was probably actually a good job that McTominay and Shaw were all suspended for the second leg, so they can actually get
rest.
Some rest. So that West will have had, he'll be playing all freedom tomorrow.
I'm Maguire.
But even if McTominay is out, I'm not too worried because, to be honest with you, there's been... Yeah, I'm not worried about him at all. There's been times where McTominay's had okay games, where he's, he managed to pop up with 1 or 2 goals. And then there's other times where he just plays like he's in the National League. But But I'm not too worried about him being injured. I don't mind people making such a meat of it. Personally, I don't think he's our best holding midfielder. I think
Owen was being dramatic when he said
Pogba's good at CDM. Play Pogba alongside Fred. Fine.
A CDM?
Oh yeah.
Don't you think he could be a bit too deep in that role?
Kieran, I was actually going to ask you a question. I said it yesterday on mixed stream.
He's played in CDM in the past before, hasn't he?
He has. But I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I just feel like if Pogba plays CDM, I would be a little bit worried that he'd just be too far back to make an impact, if you know what I mean.
I was going to ask you like a question here, and I said it yesterday on mixed.
Well, we could play 4-4. We could play the 4-4-2 down, like we did against Granada. Possibly start Van der Beek. I don't know. You know.
That's true.
There's only one CDM we got. Don't forget, Matic started against Granada, and I don't like Matic as a because he slows the bus. So.
But yeah, I mean that's true. I'd probably rather Pogba in there than Matic. But yeah, Adam, what questions did you want to ask?
I was gonna say, and I know it probably wouldn't. I know it probably wouldn't really. I know this is a bit of wild thinking, but do you think Pogba and Fernandes could be having a little bit of like a rivalry to see who can do better? Because Pogba got the captaincy v Granada, which I'm pretty sure everyone was shocked by. No one expected.
Rivalry.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't.
If they were competitive, because
yeah, that's what I mean. A healthy rivalry.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It is healthy to be, to like have that, because I mean, as Tendon says, as you point out, healthy rivalry, because you want that sort of competition. I mean, I don't think they're going to fall out over it or anything. I mean, I didn't
mean like that part of rivalry.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, maybe there is, and to be fair, as I said, if it's a healthy rivalry, then I'm all for it. I'm not sure. I feel like because they play in similar positions, then there's probably a little bit of rivalry there. But I think because they can usually both play in the same team. So Solskjaer's recently played them both in the same team. I think if say for example, when one of them plays, the other one doesn't, I think there'll be a bit more of a kind of healthy rivalry there, because it's like, I'm playing for your place in the team. But when both of them can play anyway, it's usually fine.
Reece pointed it out. Pogba, like I said, Pogba got the captaincy v Granada. Could that and we're all shocked because, let's be honest, who expected Pogba to be the captain? Did you expect it?
Not really, to be honest.
Good, and he said, and I didn't. I'm not saying it, but we said, does Pogba getting the captain mean he's staying? Because I know he's not the actual captain. That's Harry Maguire. Oh, for God's sake! But to give him the captaincy, when you think about it, look at what's happened in the past 5 months with Pogba. You have his agent, apparently him always wanting to leaving.
I mean, this is the thing. I mean, obviously with the captaincy and stuff, it is an interesting debate, because I mean, I agree. I was thinking the same thing. Does Pogba getting the captain mean he was gonna, he's kind of told Ollie, or at least Ollie's told him that he wants him to stay, or even better, Pogba wants to stay. But I don't know if you can read too much into it.
Yeah, but if you look at it, he's playing well. He's been on some form, and he actually looks happy when he's playing.
He does, yeah.
And I know Pogba always, most of the time, is happy, but
Yeah. But to be fair, he does. He's someone who, I mean, if he's playing for a move, then at least he's not kind of stropping about it. At least he's not getting all kind of, you know, like, oh, I'm not going to train until you give me my move. I mean, I'm happy that he's being professional about it. But guys, I'm conscious we have got to the hour mark, so I want to ask you a final thing. What is your score prediction for the game? I'll start with you, Dazza.
Oh, come on, Tenzin.
I think we can finally beat them. But
I swear we beat them this
we're going to
season.
be in for a very tough game. Going to be in for a very tough game. Dear me. Go. Trying to think. I'm going to go 2-1. I think we'll concede because we don't tend to keep it sheet against Burnley. They all seem to get a goal at least against us, which is annoying enough. So I'll go 2-1, but I think we can scrape a win.
All right then. Well, I hope so. I hope you're right. Adam, what about you, mate?
I'm going to go 2-0. I think it's going to be Pogba and Greenwood that score because Greenwood also played well. So them two bagged the goals and we hopefully get the 3 points.
I wouldn't say that wasn't the question.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we concede, but I'm going the positive route. I'm going for a good 2-0 win.
2-0, well, as Rich agrees with you, great minds think alike on that one. I just want to say, Miss Melina, thanks for joining, appreciate it. Always good to have you in the chat.
You can never be late.
Yeah, as I said, you can. There you go. You can never be late. You beat me to it, Adam. You beat me to it. You can never be late. Matthew says he doesn't have a good feeling a 1-1 draw. Matthew reckons. I mean, I tell you what though, my prediction for the game, I'm going to be honest, is that I'm thinking that it's going to be another scrappy game like we've seen, you know. But I think it's going to follow the pattern of the Brighton game where, you know, they score early, but, you know, as we are second half FC, we always respond well to going a goal behind. So I reckon we'll go a goal behind and we'll win the game 2-1. I agree with what Daz is saying. I think it'll be a scrappy win, but the 3 points are all that matters at this stage of the season, especially when securing top 4.
No, my camera is not off. My camera is not off because I'm nearly asleep. This is my camera.
Make it out myself.
I don't know. I can't seem to get rid of this OBS camera.
No, I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, I don't know why that happens, to be honest. But but anyway, cheers, guys. Cheers for coming on. Really do appreciate it. Thanks to Dazza. Thanks to Adam Talks Football. Really do appreciate it. Make sure you do hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. And also, if you're watching as a video, as always, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also want to shout out Rich as well. Thanks for joining, Rich. Make sure you check out his channel. Brilliant stuff over there. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Really do appreciate it. I apologise for the technical difficulties in the middle there. Hopefully we don't have any more of that. Or at least in the, you know, the problem. Let's be honest, when you're using Wi-Fi, there's always going to be problems. So just let's hope we don't get those problems anytime soon. But anyway, thanks for watching. Anyway, cheers for liking, subscribing, all the support recently. Really do appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you after the Burnley game. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.